Hi guys, I am here today on Little Chrome and we've just been filming our week 10 content for our Start Your Own horse course. And I was just filming a really awesome exercise that sets our horses up for straightness and following the feel of our body. So while I was doing this, at the end of it, Hannah stopped me and asked me if we could film this for the page, because it gave you some light bulb moments, didn't it, Han? Yeah, so she said, can we do this and talk about straightness for in our dressage tests, for going down the centre line or even going along the outsides of the dressage arena. And we sort of had a bit of a discussion about how so often we're sort of micromanaging to hold our horses straight and to hold them on that straight line. And when we're micromanaging, we all know it's just like when we're trying to, let's say, back a trailer. If we micromanage that too much, it ends up going wonky and all over the place. So this exercise is a really cool one for just being aware about where our body position is and our horses, and then in turn, of course, we start to come together. So first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about our rider biomechanics and making sure that we're straight on the horse. So we've been lucky enough to be learning from a lady named Linda Brown, and she teaches rider biomechanics. So one of the things she talks about with us is being aware of how much weight you have in each seat bone, and for me that is my right hand side, which tends to get a little bit heavier. And so if I think too much about where I have my weight all the time and trying to kind of angle my body to get straight in the saddle, I end up again micromanaging it, and then I end up in a mess and feeling all awkward and twisted. So instead, Linda gave me a really great exercise about just thinking about where my belly button is and making sure it's lined up in the middle of my horse. So it kind of goes my belly button, the fly on my breeches, and then making sure that I'm aligned over his withers. So that helps me stay sort of balanced in my seat bones. Then all I have to do, if my horse is, say, drifting to the outside, first of all I make sure, am I aligned in the centre of the horse? If not, realign myself. And if it's a matter of miscommunication through myself and the horse doesn't quite know about following my weight yet, then what I can do is, let's say he's falling out through the right hand side, I can sort of point my belly button and my tailbone to that inside ear, and incredibly they start to follow the feel of our weight and come back into alignment. And as soon as they do that, then I'm going to go back straight into the horse's body. So it's really important that in everything we do, we set them up and we leave them alone. We're not micromanaging every single little thing. So what I'll do is I'll take Chrome out onto the fence. Good boy. And we're just going to go forward and ahead. Good boy. So what I notice when I come onto the left hand side with Chrome is that he sort of falls to the inside. So first of all, I'm going to make sure that my belly button is aligned in the center of him, and when he does that and drifts to the inside, I'm going to correct him and put him back on the fence again. Good boy. And we'll just cut across the round pen here. So I find this exercise best when I've got a straight fence line, but today we're in the round pen, so that will have to do. So of course I'm going to be slightly to the inside because I'm creating that bend around my inside leg and around the round pen. So here, while I'm going forward straight along the fence line, making sure I'm straight in the centre of my horse, I'm not worrying about holding him in there, and I'm not even worried about where he's looking so much at this stage because we're only in the very early stages. Good boy. And we've done this exercise a few times over now, and at the start pretty much every second step Chrome was drifting to the inside. So all I did was pick up, put him back on the outside again, and then leave him alone. And so that was quite cool to see in this one that we only had to have one big correction to pop him back onto that fence line. Good boy. Well, we're not able to do much showing in this one, Nan. How do I correct it? Okay, so we'll just come off, we'll just go on to the other rein. So what I'm doing to correct it, so let's say he drifts to the inside, I'm going to make sure I'm going to pop my belly button and my tailbone to that outside ear. I'm opening out with my outside rein, and I'm sort of just imagining that I'm putting my tailbone and my seat bone over to the outside, and I can use a little bit of my leg if I need to in time with that inside hind to help him go to the outside again. So basically employing my cues for a simple leg yield. Good boy. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. So again, coming around here, making sure I'm straight on my horse. He sort of falls to the inside. I pick up, put him back out onto the fence, and then leave him alone again. So I find this exercise great because I'm not having to worry about both sides of the horse. I can use the fence to sort of help out with that. So I'm not having to correct him on both sides, or he's not spilling out the other side then, and the fence does a lot of my work for me. So such a fantastic exercise for these young horses, or even the older horses that have been micromanaged. And it's so important that we have our horses in self-carriage and we're not micromanaging every single thing, because at some point you're going to come across a sneaky little part in our dressage tests where we have to give away the reins for 2 to 3 strides, and the horse should carry, maintain and carry on with that self-carriage. Good boy. So anyway, I hope that helps and benefits you if you're having straightness issues or having to micromanage all the time. And of course, we want to make sure that we're also doing our lateral work, bending, suppling, because that helps incredibly with our straightness as well. So yeah, feel free to fire us through some questions if you have any, but otherwise I look forward to seeing you in our next videos.